What is up, guys? Welcome. Crypto FUD. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Excuse me. Gotta stay hydrated. Just got back from the gym. Let's jump right into this, guys. So we got some big news that I'm going to be dropping, not on for me, but for Bitcoin. Some big bullish news. I don't know if anybody's been covering it yet. It did just drop. On top of that, we're going to be checking out the charts. Nice little bounce that we're seeing for Bitcoin as of now. Let's just jump right into this. And if you guys have any charts or anything like that you guys want to check out, speak now, forever hold your peace, all right? So let's just run through this real quick. We're going to talk about the news real fast, and then we'll pull up charts, whatever you guys want to talk about. So a couple things. Let's see here. What's going on, Cougar? What's going on, bro? Or maybe Broette? Hey, how are you doing? So Bitcoin right now is sitting at around 118,050 right now, right? We did have a nice little drop down to about 17,300. You can see, obviously, nice little support level that we do have around 117,500, we'll call it. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, Cougar, bro, doesn't go well, right? You're a Cougar, huh? All right. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome. All right, so like I was saying before, Cougar distracted me, right? You hear Cougar and you're like, oh, okay, all right. See, I'm just falling down the rabbit hole here. Let's focus on these charts here. Right now, like I said, 118,000. We did see a nice little drop down to about 117.3. So far, this support level at around 117.5, we'll call it, a little bit under 117.5 is holding as of now, right? You can see if we zoom out, nice little trend line that we are basically respecting as of now. We did break slightly below, but we are still technically making higher lows as of now. So everything still looks good. Everything looks great. Seems that Bitcoin right now keeps running up. As of yesterday, we kept running up to retest 120, almost 121, but it was like 120 and change. We came up 4 times yesterday, every time getting rejected, right? So what did I do as of yesterday? I definitely opened up a short around this area and definitely woke up this morning and I was up 105, 110% after fees and everything like that to close the short. I actually closed it way too early. I closed it when we were somewhere in the higher 117s, obviously because we already had dropped down like crazy. Didn't want to take the chance, wanted to lock in those profits, but obviously I could have, now looking back, I could have closed it a lot later and probably picked up another 30 or 40% on that short. So, but did I open up a long after that? I did not. I wish I would have. I don't think I missed the boat as far as opening up a long, but I'm going to hold off on leverage for right now and see what we're going to do as far as today. I know the markets, they just opened up about an hour and a half ago. We are seeing a nice little move towards the upside. Like I said, a nice little bounce for Bitcoin. If we zoom in on the 15-minute, you can see that nice little line that we respected. We did break a little bit below, but you're starting to see somewhat of a V-shaped recovery for Bitcoin. So things look good right now. I mean, obviously, we're going to have retracements here and there, but nothing too crazy, right? As long as I said this probably a few days ago in the Discord. Flip, what's going on, bro? I said this a few days ago in the Discord. I said as long as we're holding that 117, even if we drop down to 115, I really don't want to see that personally. But at least if we hold this 117 area, somewhere around this area, we're still very, very bullish in regards to us holding those higher lows as of now. So things look great. As far as dominance, this is like the big thing right now. We talked about this, I believe it was 2 days ago. We didn't have a regular stream. We had our members only stream last night. But dominance has been the big thing that we're kind of focused on right now. Dominance has broke down, and we read an article, 2 days ago. A lot of analysts are thinking that we might have topped out for dominance as of now. Can dominance come back up? Of course it can. But do we think that it's going to come back up to these local highs at 66%? There's a big chance that we probably won't see that happen. So now we've seen dominance drop down 5%. And what else is moving? Well, we have Ethereum. Ethereum broke $3,600 yesterday off of dominance dropping. I say this all the time. I will always keep reminding you guys, just because dominance is dropping does not mean that Bitcoin's price necessarily is going to drop with it. It just means that money flowing in isn't necessarily going straight to Bitcoin. It's starting to go into the other gaps, aka the alt sector, right? You're seeing the first big move with Ethereum, right? You're seeing XRP, yeah, as of yesterday, having a fantastic day in regards to the Genius Act getting passed, right? It isn't fully passed yet. Bill, what's going on, brother? It's gonna pass. It's got to go through the president's desk, but we already know that all this it's basically gonna be signed into to the office. So, with that being said, you're seeing a lot of these alts doing well. I'm actually looking right now. Where's Ricky at? Nelson, what's going on, brother? Where's Ricky at? ALI is up 35% right now. I just realized that. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Hope he's still holding on to that project. But to get back on track, dominance dropping is going to be nothing but fantastic for anybody that's holding alts. You're going to start seeing, as we continue to move down, you're going to start seeing some of these alts start just breaking out like we're seeing in the last day or two. But you're going to start seeing as a whole all these alts just slowly but surely moving up till we get to a point where we're going to get so parabolic when we get into altcoin season that basically across the board, anything that maybe you've bought in the last few weeks, few months, while we were down like crazy, you're probably going to see 2, 4, 5 X's on these just to start off with. Now, I'm not saying that every single alt is going to make this exact move, but you're going to see a lot of action like that for a lot of different projects. So some of them will move obviously a lot more than others, and some of them might seem stagnant and maybe lagged behind the rest of the bunch, but at some point they will probably see money flowing in just because people, what happens is you have people that might be taking profits off of Bitcoin, right? Maybe people are going to start taking profits from Ethereum at some point. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, but at some point people are taking profits from Ethereum, right? What are they going to be doing? They're not going to just take their money out and that's it. They're calling it a day. No, they're going to be looking for other plays that are going to be potentially 2X's, 4X's, 5X's, 10X's, right? They're going to start FOMOing into a lot of these smaller cap projects. And that's when you're going to start seeing the rest of the sector really start moving fast and swiftly. So looking at the crypto bubbles for today, Nelson, I don't know if I said what's up, but what's up? What's going on, brother? What's going on? Looking at the crypto bubbles for today, you can see a couple big movers, right? Ethereum Classic. I called this a few weeks ago. I said when you start seeing Ethereum Classic moving, that's when you're getting confirmation that alts are starting to move, just because you're starting to see some of these projects that might seem dormant, like Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash. I'm sure we're going to start seeing big moves as well. Uniswap, big mover for today, obviously because that's the biggest swap that's on Ethereum, right? But you're seeing across the board looks pretty damn good. We have a couple projects that are down. Pengu, Farcoin, these projects have been absolutely ripping. SPX, I think, is coming off of an all-time high, so it needs to cool down a little bit. Pepe down 1%. Bunk is down about 8% because Bunk was absolutely ripping a few days ago, right? And then you're seeing Pump, this is Pump Fun. If you guys are hearing in the background that's my Pump Fun that's going crazy right now because I do a lot of live trading on Pump Fun as well. So I do have it, and you can see basically a lot of wallets that I am connected with, they're buying and selling on Pump Fund. So that's why you can hear that noise in the background. If you're wondering, like, is that something going on in the house? What is that noise going on? I keep hearing like a... Yeah, it's Pump Fund. It's Pump Fund. If you guys are... I don't know if you guys... A lot of my members do, but a lot of us trade on Pump Fund. We do a lot of trenches trades and stuff like that. We kind of started the segment last week, and we're moving on with it as far as just doing a lot of live trenches trading. So if you guys are interested, hit that join button. It's under $5. It's $4.99 a month, and I can't guarantee that you're going to make a bunch of money, right? Because ultimately you're the one that's going to decide to buy in and sell and stuff like that. But I will point you in the right direction for plays, and you'll make that $5 back fast. Not guaranteed, but you easily have potential to do that. So hit that join button if you guys want. Oh, look who's here. Letty, what's going on? Letty said, I finally got my money back from ASM yesterday. Made a 200+% move. Nice. Hell yeah. Welcome back, Letty. I haven't seen you in a while. But across the board, things look great. Doge is up 12%. HBAR is up 10%. And this is nothing, folks, compared to where we're going to be. Lido, a nice little move up 16%. Well, let's talk about the bullish news that just dropped. I don't know if it was this morning or whatever the case is, but let's see here. So Donald Trump set to open U.S. retirement market to crypto investments. Let me repeat that again. Donald Trump is set to open up U.S. retirement market to crypto investments. This is going to be so flippin' big. Obviously, it is going to, I don't know exactly, we can read through this. I have not read through this article whatsoever. But depending on what exposure they're going to allow with 401k to whatever particular projects, most likely are going to see a big influx in money. Because 401k, most Americans have it, right? I have a 401k. My 401k is tied into the S&P, right? Been having some great weeks. S&P keeps hitting all-time highs. Whenever I check it, I'm like, yeah, like every day up $400 or $500 just in the S&P. So everything's been going great. But imagine they open the floodgates, right, for people to allocate part of their 401k, part of their paychecks, right? Because you have to remember, 401k, a lot of people are it's through their companies, right, that they're working for. Their company potentially will match them, usually up to 5 or 6%, right? So a small percentage of what their salaries is going into their paychecks, or going from their paychecks into their 401k every week, every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. The point of what I'm getting to is that could be a lot of money that could be coming in to the crypto space via 401ks. So the president's preparing an executive order to allow 401k plans to tap broad pool of alternate assets. This is big here. So Donald Trump is preparing to open up the $9 trillion U.S. retirement market to the cryptocurrency investments, gold, and private equities in a move that would spur a radical shift in the way American savings are managed. Trump is expected to sign an executive order as soon as this week that would open up 401k plans to alternative investments beyond traditional stocks and bonds, according to 3 people who have been briefed on the president's plan. These investments would run a broad spectrum of asset classes, from digital assets to metals and funds focused on corporate takeovers, private loans, and infrastructure deals. The executive order would instruct Washington regulatory agencies to investigate the remaining hurdles needed to allow for such alternative investments to be included in professionally managed funds used by 401k savers. And they quote, President Trump is committed to restoring prosperity for everyday Americans and safeguarding their economic future. No decision should be deemed official, however, unless they come from President Trump himself, the White House said in the statement. They're basically saying, because what we're getting some people that are close to the White House. They allowed them to kind of let the news out, right? Let the news out. But what they're saying is nothing is guaranteed yet until you hear it from the president. That's pretty much what they're saying there. So in the U.S., 401k plans are among the most popular ways working Americans save for retirement, allowing them to invest a portion of their salaries in publicly traded securities tax-free. But virtually all such investments are housed in public stock and bond mutual funds. The executive order would accelerate Trump's push to bring crypto investments to the mainstream after his administration has dropped prominent enforcement actions against large digital asset trading groups. The House of Representatives on yesterday, passed the trio of crypto-related bills that Trump has strongly backed, underscoring how the president is seeking to bolster the industry. Trump campaigned on a platform of freeing cryptocurrencies from what he said were overly harsh regulations and credited the industry with helping him win the 2024 presidential election. So basically what we're seeing here, like I said, is we potentially, if this goes through, executive order, right? This means he's not going to be going through the House for votes or anything like that. Basically, the president can use his powers, executive orders, right, to sign this into law, which would basically, to start, they would sign the executive order, and then it would basically allow his administration to go in. Twan, what's going on, bro? His administration to go in and basically find out what is holding back. Why can't digital assets, not just digital assets, but you saw gold and precious metals as well. I mean, this is big. This is even big for gold, silver, and whatever precious metals are out there that you can actually trade and buy and hold as a reserve, a Federal Reserve, or whatever the case is, a store of value. very big here. And what I'm getting to is what they're basically going to have them immediately after the executive order is signed, look into whatever's holding back and relieve all of that stuff. So it'll basically, it's like a dam right now that's holding back all this money that could potentially start flowing into a lot of different assets like the cryptocurrencies. Now, I hate using cryptocurrency, but the crypto asset. Now, one thing I am not getting here, and they weren't able to specify, is what they're going to allow people to buy with their 401ks, right? Is it going to be just strictly Bitcoin? Most likely not. Most likely, I would almost imagine it's going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum, and potentially maybe a few other big cap projects, right? What they're going to do is they're not going to allow you to, use your 401k to buy Pepe every week. Unfortunately, I think they should, but they're not going to allow you to do that. Most likely, just because it's a little bit too volatile for right now. So they're probably looking at I would say probably 5 major projects that are a lot more stable, right? And you think, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're pretty stable for the most part. But then on top of that, maybe a few other ones. I'm sure if they're going to go down the line, it's going to be like XRP, maybe Solana, and maybe one other big project, that might be up there in the top 10. That they could that's a little bit more stable, that they'll allow, for people to possibly add to their 401k retirement. So, but this is big. It is big, guys. This just dropped not too long ago, and I'm telling you, this is going to bring, if passed, right? We don't know if it's going to get passed, but if passed, this could bring in a lot of money. So, just going back over here to Bitcoin to see what's going on here. Tuan with the $10 super chat, bro. I appreciate that, brother. Tuan, were you with us last night for the member stream? I appreciate that, bro. Craig said, "Yo, I'm gonna end the green on everything now. Took my losses on Maniki though. It's go time. Hell yeah, Tuan. If you need anything, bro, yeah, okay, you were there. All right. If you can hear him, I have I already have it up right here. Pump. If you guys can see, I jumped in on this project on Pump Fund right here. I bought right here and I sold for like a 30% move. I obviously should have held onto it for a little bit longer, but it is what it is. If you're looking, this project just dropped on Pump Fund. I don't even know what the hell it's called, to be honest. It's in Chinese. But it was moving. I jumped in on it. Market cap's at around $500,000, so it was a move at the time, and it's pumping right now. Actually, it is pumping. Tuan, thank you so much, brother, for the $10 super chat, bro. If you need anything, let me know. Craig, I'm glad you're in the green, bro. I had to do the same thing, brother. I literally just, it was hard, but I just moved on from Maniki, and I think a lot of people have done that. Maniki, technically, it's up from the bottom as of late, and I'm sure it's probably going to have a nice bounce, and me and you are going to look back like, damn it, right? Because everything's going to move, right? Ricky said, are we in the trenches? No, I'm in the trenches all day, bro. I've become a trench miner, I guess is what you would call it, where I'm just in the trenches all day. All day I'm in the trenches. I'm not even BSing you. But talking about Maniki, I just basically, I ended up selling off like maybe back here, just because I was like, dude, I was noticing the volume was dropping. If you look, there's only 189 traders active on Radium. Obviously, it's on other exchanges and stuff like that, not just swaps. But I just was like, you know what? It just seemed like it was just not moving the way I wanted to. And I had a lot of Maniki. I had over 1 million Maniki at the time. So I just wanted to free up that capital and move it over into something else. So I ended up taking a loss on that as well. But I was like, you know what? It is what it is, right? It sucks to hit that sell button for a loss. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it is the hardest thing for me to actually sell for a loss for something. But when you look back, sometimes you're just like happy that you did it, because you're just like, either you made your money back on another move, or the project continues to drop down, which Maniki did, and you're kind of just like, I'm glad that I at least sold when I did. So it is what it is. So, but if you guys are just joining, I'm not going to read through the article again, but Trump is set to open the U.S. retirement market for crypto investments. We're basically about to see a lot of money flowing in, a lot of money flowing into 401k. We just don't know, or flowing, how am I going to say this? Basically, they're going to offer where you can use your 401k, right, to buy digital assets, precious metals, gold, right, stuff like that. So I think this is a big, big move. This dropped this morning. Another thing, traders rejoice as Ethereum surges beyond 3650 amidst institutional demand for digital oil. We won't even really read much into this because we already know what's going on, but we called this on this channel literally 2 weeks ago while Ethereum was at $2,400. And what did I come out here and say? I showed you guys, we literally watched the video of Tom Lee was on CNBC the day before and basically said, I'm running this company now, right? And our main focus is going to be acquiring Ethereum. Right when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I guarantee you're going to start seeing a lot of institutional money shifting over, not necessarily giving up on Bitcoin, but I guarantee you're going to start seeing a lot of institutional money focusing on Ethereum because Ethereum is a sitting, sleeping giant, and that's exactly what we've seen. Ethereum's jumped up $1,100 in the last 2 weeks since we announced this, right? And just to quote what Tom Lee said, he didn't say that they were done buying Bitcoin. He just said that they were basically going to focus more on Ethereum now that they've acquired a bunch of Bitcoin during the dip, right? And that's pretty much what you're seeing right now with institutions is you're seeing a lot of money, right? Today, Bitcoin's down 1.3%, Ethereum's up almost 2%, right? And this has been the main narrative for the last, 2 weeks now, pretty much since we've pretty much seen all that. Is look what else we called on the channel the other day, right? What did I show you guys? I'm going to Ethereum chart on in the Discord. So another thing too is I've been providing my charts, my live charts. I've been providing them on that. Make sure you guys join our Discord. I actually will drop the link, Discord link in the chat real quick. Just bear with me real quick. See here. I have to go in. I'm on my phone dropping it because I don't have the Discord on my computer. But let's see here. So here's the Discord. I'm gonna pin it on the top of the on the chat here. But if you guys are interested, it's free. Come join the community. But I do have access to right now. I'm providing access to Ethereum. I'm gonna drop this in the Discord after we get done with the stream. But I already dropped Bitcoin and Bitcoin DOM. You guys can literally look at my charts that I have for my support levels. We called this a few days ago as we were approaching. I said is basically we're looking at a chart from 2,000 time highs for Ethereum 4,800. Since then we have been on a downward trend in regards to lower highs. Right, there was a brief time where we did actually break above, right, very briefly, and we hit our head pretty much at around 4,100, which is an area that we're going to have as massive resistance. We'll talk about that there in a second. But during this time, right, you look at this was back in 2024, just 8 months ago, December 2024. If we pulled up the dominance chart, dominance took a crap at that time as well. Ethereum shot up. It's not rocket science here. They're inverse charts. Bitcoin dominance and Ethereum's chart is inverse, right? Bitcoin dominance comes down, Ethereum's going to move up, right? It's pretty simple. What I'm getting to is this is going to be a big spot. I circled it. I'm going to move the circle now. I wanted to leave that there, but I told you guys that this was going to be a big spot for some resistance, and exactly what I said happened right there. So why could this be beneficial? Well, you could have easily briefly opened up a short at around 3,600, right? Now, I'm not going to say that was a perfect move, and I probably wouldn't be shorting Ethereum necessarily, right? Just because you're playing with fire, in my opinion, just because, like we just covered, a lot of institutional money is focused on Ethereum right now. So Ethereum ran up, basically hit a spot where we knew it was going to hit around that 3,600. Actually broke above 3675. You can see before getting rejected. It's going to be a spot where it's going to need to retest a few times before you break above, right? Next spot that's going to be a big spot for some resistance is going to be 3,740. That's going to be another spot where we've come up. That's the 236 fib. It's a big pivotal spot on Ethereum that we're going to need to break above. You can see a few times we have come up and we've hit our head at that area, right? At that area, we're probably going to be doing the same thing where we're going to break above the trend, maybe find the trend as some support, but in the meantime, hitting our head in a very tight range between the trend and the 236 area, somewhere around there. So between 36 and about 3750 would be an area to look for some very tight range in regards to where we could, end up seeing Ethereum as it's breaking up. But other than that, the next big spot after that 236, after we do conquer that area, and we will, is going to be that 4100 area. The 4100 area, I can't explain to you how important it is to break above that 4100 area. And I've said this over and over, that 4100 area, that's basically altcoin season. We break above 4100, you're going to see dominance down another probably 5%. And I'm telling you, that is going to be where we're going to be basically in altcoin season. But that's just the beginning. We need to break above 4100 and hold it, and we need to break past it, obviously. And as that happens, you're going to see all your favorite alts going absolutely parabolic. So we'll keep an eye on this. This right here, this chart, I am going to drop in the Discord, like I said. Make sure you guys, if you're new, hit that like, hit the subscribe. Join us in the Discord. We have a very great community. We don't tolerate any nonsense, though. No nonsense. We just come in there. We talk about crypto projects, about the channel and stuff like that. So come join. Let me see here. Craig. Oh, Punk, what's going on, bro? Craig said turn $600 into 90 with Maniki. Damn, bro. Shit. All right. Well, we going to bring that 90 to the trenches. You need to come with us to the trenches. We'll turn that 90 into $9,000. All right. Not guaranteed, though. Ricky said Maniki's going to 50x next week. Oh, you already know it, bro. You already know it. I just officially, I said that I sold, like a month ago. I was expecting it to shoot up a lot sooner, but yeah, it's probably going to do that. Most likely. Tuan said, what's your prediction on the market cap in the crypto space, Crip? So good question, bro. So I've been saying this, for a little while. Did we make highs? Did we make a high? Let me see here. I think we did, bro. I didn't even catch on to that. 384, 3.84. Yeah, bro. We're actually at highs right now. Holy crap. I can't believe I didn't even... I can't believe they don't have the breakdown on there. I can't believe I didn't even realize that, dude. Thank you for pointing that out about the market cap. So right now, we're technically at highs. 3.84 trillion as a whole for the whole crypto space. That's with Bitcoin included. I mean, where do I see us at the top of this market? I mean, it depends, right? With what we just talked about with the 401k, stuff like that. You saw in there, it was a $10 trillion potential, floodgate that could open up. I don't think everybody's going to move their whole 401ks over into Bitcoin or anything like that. But even if like 1 to 5% of that comes flowing into the crypto space, you're talking about a lot of money flowing in, right? But regardless, with that, keeping that in mind, keeping that we haven't even got anywhere near where I think we're going to top out for like alts and stuff like that. Ethereum still, at 3,600, we could probably see an Ethereum get up to about 7 or 8K potentially. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a $10 trillion market cap. Now, if you guys remember, I was calling just a few months ago, I was saying 6 to 7, I think is what I was calling. I moved it up. I think we might see a $10 trillion market cap when everything's said and done, right? So, I mean, I think people don't realize $10 trillion, the gold's market cap. I wonder if we can probably look it up. Gold's market cap. Let me see here. Gold's market cap, I believe, is like 12. 12 trillion. Always forget where gold. Yeah, gold. Where's gold's market cap? I should have that saved. This isn't it. I don't know. I'll have to go back to it. But gold's market cap, last I checked, was somewhere around 12 or 14 trillion. So if you think about that, if you think about the crypto space potentially running up towards 10, maybe a little bit more, 10 trillion, now you're talking about gold that's been around for the last thousands of years, like that's been used as some kind of a financial, precious metal. Something like crypto could be challenging, an asset that's been around for years and years and years, right? So Flip said the stream's skipping on you. Is that happening for anybody else? Let me see here. It says your YouTube stream health is excellent. I don't know, Flip. I think it's you, bro. Yeah, so total market cap for the fib is 10 trillion for crypto. Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much what I'm thinking too. Ricky, AI showing some love today. I was calling you out earlier, bro. I was like, bro, ALI is running today. But Ricky, you know what I always say. Bro. This thing goes on these crazy spurts. Take the profit and reposition, not financial advice. It's already starting, bro. It's already starting. This thing likes to go on some crazy runs like out of nowhere. Nice little 85% move, right, for the day. But you're going to most likely, I'm just saying most likely, it could be different this time, but most likely you're going to see somewhat of a retracement for this. So it happens 60% of the time, it happens every time, bro. Look at this on Ethereum when I'm looking at the 1 hour. Nice little double top coming right up to our trend line right here. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You really can't. You really can't. Bill said, what does the mass FOMO begin, Crip? I honestly, me personally, guys, I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it until I'm proven wrong. I honestly think that we're basically set up for a 4-year cycle still, where we're going to see most likely an actual top in the market. All coins are topped out somewhere towards the end of this year. That's where I think. Now, we could get derailed. It could get pushed a little bit longer. We're in some times now where, every week something crazy happens. And I don't mean crazy like bad, but, we're seeing bills getting passed, in favor of crypto and this 401k stuff. And, stuff like that could, maybe push the bull market a little bit farther than what I'm expecting. But for now, I still do think that most likely like November, just like if you go back in 2021, is most likely going to be around where we top out. It could be a little different this time, but I do believe it's going to be something around those lines. So obviously only time will tell as far as that. So right now, Bitcoin looks like it's respecting. Look where it's literally bouncing off of our levels right here. This chart is available in our Discord. I will drop them again so you guys can save them onto your trading view. And what's cool about this is anytime I do make any changes, you will get the changes. It'll basically pop up on your screen as I make the changes. So it's pretty dope. Free, it's not of no charge or anything like that. And you can kind of use it to see maybe if we're not live, like what's Bitcoin doing? Well, it looks like we have a support level somewhere around here. Now, keep in mind, not all the time are they going to respect these lines. But like I said, 60% of the time, it works all the time. If you guys have seen Anchorman, that's what I'm getting it from. I know. They're corny jokes. I get it. I was told a while back that my jokes were corny and to just stop. Is basically what I was told, but you can't stop all that. Looking at our DeFi, saved DeFi right now, nothing too crazy. Zbeck ZBEC's up right now 7%. Who else bought the dip on ZBEC? I did yesterday, last minute when we dropped down to about the 28 level. I did add to my bag. My bag is looking great right now as far as how much I've accumulated. I want to just keep continuing. I'm getting close to that $1 million ZBEC level, and I'm just going to keep pushing till I get there. If you guys are unfamiliar with this project, this is a Solana-based project that is on a lot of central exchanges, right? So if you don't have a Solana wallet necessarily, let me see if I have it on my saved. I don't. ZBCN, ZBEC. So this project is basically, I want to say, not exactly like XRP, but very similar approach as far as a financial crypto. They've been acquiring a lot of a lot of companies that already have a lot of users, stuff like that. They're a British, UK based company, but they're looking to expand into America as well. And I mean, just a lot of bullishness for this project as far as with ZBEC, and I see a lot of big future behind it as far as what I think ZBEC's going to get to at some point. You can see they're already pretty much made it to all the big mid-tier projects, exchanges, central exchanges like Crypto.com, KuCoin, Gate, Mexi, BitGet, OKX, right, to name a few. The only next, that we can get to is probably like Coinbase and Binance. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, I mean, the asset market cap's at $276 million. In my opinion, such a small fraction of where I think this is going to get to. I think this project is a multi-billion-dollar project at some point. So right now, you can see we're approaching, I believe this is the 618 on ZBEC right now. So it's going to give us a little bit of some resistance for sure as we come up. We've actually come up and hit our head at the 3220. That's our 618 level right here. So we definitely need to come back to retest this level probably a few times before we break above. But looks good, in my opinion. Looks great. Obviously, we pumped. Ricky bought a bunch yesterday, so. Punk said, I'm waiting for this damn severance. Hell yeah. Wait, severance? Did you get laid off or something? You don't have to put your business out there, but you're waiting for a severance? You don't have to answer it, bro. I don't even mean to get into your business, bro. But I hope you get that money fast. Craig said, what? Let's see here. Sorry to hear about that, Punk. Sorry about that, brother. Bro, listen. You and a lot of people, let me just put it like that. You and a lot of people around me, it's all I've been hearing about is people getting laid off like left and right. And it's really, what I've noticed is it's a lot of the big corporations. Like if you were corporate, they basically either outsource the job, and I'm talking about not like bottom line workers. I'm talking about people that were engineers and stuff like that. They're basically they got replaced by people in other countries, for cheaper labor or AI, right? And you never thought, you always heard for the last like few years, AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. Bro, it was like 2 years and it's like literally replaced like a massive amount of jobs. So, but good luck, brother. I hope that severance comes through, bro, and I hope you make a quick play and make all your salary back off that play, and you can just look back and be like, screw you guys. That's what I hope, bro. ZBEC's running right now. Nice little move towards the upside. I'm glad I grabbed a little bit. A little bit compared to what I should have picked up a freaking like million this morning. Just kidding. Craig, so he said, I don't even know how to pronounce what you're talking about, but let's try to pull that chart up, bro. Am I the only person that's never heard of this? Well, apparently I have, because I have a chart on here, so let's see. Yep, we got a fib retracement and everything. Why am I ATH? I don't know. For some reason, it's just not ringing a bell. Yeah, now it's starting to look familiar. So market cap around 341 million. Volume looks good, 40 million for the day. It's on Coinbase. This is an Ethereum based project, so it looks good. Another thing too is while Ethereum is having some good days, good times right now, running up, you're gonna probably see the whole ecosystem doing pretty well as well, right? So because you're gonna start seeing a lot more exposure, people not only buying Ethereum, but you can buy Ethereum projects. Newer investors coming into the space, potentially putting a lot of money into not just Ethereum but it's DeFi and stuff like that. So for this project particularly, just looking at it, I want to move this fib retracement here. So, I mean, the only thing I can say, this is kind of a wacky chart, to be honest. I mean, you can see somewhat of a double bottom that's formed. We're looking at the daily, right? So you can see somewhat of a double bottom, right? So the bottom of the fib is somewhere around that 2.5 cent mark. And where you guys look like where you've hit your head is at the 618, somewhere around that a little over 5 cent mark, 5.5 cents is where it looks like you're having massive resistance as of now. So, I mean, not knowing much about the project, it is trading on a lot of big platforms. So, I mean, it has a lot of exposure. Where that 2.5 cent mark is a good spot to look for to accumulate, not financial advice. I don't know if you guys are going to come back to there because it looks like you bounced off of it once, ran up to the 618, came back, retested it. You might be forming some massive like W pattern here, if you can see, right? What if this plays out where you have this 1, 2, and then it just sends you to the moon, right? That could happen. So, I mean, to be honest, where you're at right now, not a bad time really to be just accumulating. Mark cap's at 300 million, so I mean you're down there still in a smaller cap project. If you're long term, accumulation on the project, in my opinion, would probably be best. Looking at the MACD doesn't look bad either. You're kind of still an overbought when you guys ran up to the 618, and you can see you basically reset. And now you're kind of looking like you want to head back up towards that 618 area. So you're kind of in that area where you're not an overbought and you're not an oversold area. You're kind of like getting up towards that mid area on that MACD. So, I mean, not a bad time. Maybe wait for some kind of a retracement to see maybe there's a support level that I can see right here. Right here, you can see you've bounced off this area a few times. It's been resistance. That's going to be somewhere around your 3 cent mark. Would be probably an area, if I'm looking to accumulate, anything at the 3 cent or below would probably be a good little spot to accumulate on the project. So, good luck with that. Crypto Meow, what's going on? Says, how was your vacation? It was great, bro. It was awesome. I posted some pictures on the stream 2 days ago. We went snorkeling, just it was mayhem as far as just fun. I had the drink package, so literally had a drink in my hand for 5 days straight, from 12-hour periods, just straight drinking. Now, I wasn't drinking I didn't drink any beer. I did not drink any beer. I normally drink beer. I didn't drink any. I was drinking freaking Crown, and I was drinking vodkas and Red Bull is what I pretty much switched over to because it was so hot, right? But you're at the pool. You're out doing stuff all day and night, so I switched over to the vodkas and Red Bulls, and they had me pretty much up and also tipsy at the same time, right? So it was a good combo. And then obviously drinking bottles of water in between every other drink, so I was good. So it was fun. You're a gin and tonic? Okay. Bahama Mama. Pina coladas. I had the pina coladas going. The rum runners. I wasn't real big on the rum runner, but I had the pina coladas. They had a lot of different these crazy, freaking frozen drinks that I was getting in between, drinks. They were good. But I couldn't sit there and just drink those all day, just because, they're just mostly like sugar and, you said you like rum. That's your drink of choice. I started off drinking rum and Coke. But I was like, you know what? I was like, was too, I don't know, not too much, but it was just I needed something that was refreshing as well. So I switched over to Crown and Coke, and I was like, it was still the same thing. So I was like, I started seeing people. Everybody was ordering like Tito's and Red Bull. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'll take a Tito's and sugar-free Red Bull, and then from there on, it was just like, just keep them flowing. And the theme on the boat was, because it was a Jimmy Buffett cruise, and the theme on the boat was 5 o'clock somewhere. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, and there's bars everywhere. So 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, is it too early to order a drink? They're like, it's 5 o'clock on my watch. I'm like, holy crap, bro. This is a freaking drinking cruise right here. Craig said, send it. Thanks for looking it up. It's pronounced Avier. All right. Look at that. You learn something new every day. Zebek's running. Ricky must be buying. Twan, thank you for bringing that up, brother. Thank you for bringing that up. Cat with mask. You guys know I've been talking about this for a while. It's in a beautiful buy zone. Obviously not financial advice, right? But this thing has been, it's down, right? It's down. But I've been very big on this project, right? Because I think this is going to be a big mover in the near future. I really do. And the reason is because this project has so much people following, has an enormous community, has almost 32,000 holders to date right now, right? And this project is only on MEXC right now. It hasn't even gotten onto Crypto.com, KuCoin, or any of the other mid-tier exchanges. So this thing is doing numbers. Volume 1.5 million on just alone on Radium, right? You have over 2,200 people trading strictly through the swap. This isn't even included onto everything else. In my opinion, this project, obviously I am invested in it myself. That's the only reason why I do speak highly of it. I think this project, honestly, is going to do really well. I really do think it's going to do really well. Volume is around, let's see here, where's volume? At 9.45 million, and the market cap's only at $5 million. So that shows you, obviously, because we've had somewhat of a sell-off. But I'm telling you, every time this project does something like this, it always has a massive move towards the upside. So we are on a downward trend as of now, right? So take that in with a grain of salt. You know, you can see, obviously, we've been on a downward trend. We kind of broke out of the trend, jumped back on a downward trend. But right now, in my opinion, this morning, Twan, was adding to the bag. Especially when we dropped down into the lower 40s. I was picking up, you know, just because I'm long term. This is the meme coin that I've kind of I've been running with. And you can see from the bottom to where we're at right now, it was already about a 17% bounce from the bottom. So $5 million market cap. This thing gets listed on any major exchange. This thing is out of here. So, and I mean the volume and the bag holders right there alone is something that you'll see, you know, some of these exchanges, they look at and they're like, well, there's a lot of people trading this. There's a lot of volume. These exchanges, they make money off of people buying and selling, right? They don't give a shit if you're making money or whatever the case is. They're just making money strictly off the fees. They want you to obviously make money so you buy more stuff, but, you know, they're in the business of buying and selling and charging you a fee to do so, right? So why not take advantage? You can buy it on Solana through your Phantom wallet and pay very minimal fees, especially before it gets dropped on any major exchange, right? So you would think I work for that project, right? But I'm just very bullish on them. So, but just to recap for anybody that just joined, the big news for today is Trump is set to open up U.S. retirement market for the crypto investments. We talked about this a few times already. They're basically, word is that he's about to sign an executive order, most likely today, potentially, allowing 401k holders to start allocating basically into digital assets and precious metals like gold, silver, and stuff like that. So you're talking about an $11 trillion pool of money that could potentially get unleashed and have exposure to the crypto world. Now, they didn't specify what cryptocurrencies or cryptos that they're going to be allowing to be purchased through the 401k. I'm sure that's something that we will find out down the road. But like I was saying earlier, it's most likely going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe a couple other major projects that are a little bit more stable than others. So but that's pretty much the big news for today. The market looks great today. Pump Fund is down 20%. I think I called this the other day. I said, or yesterday, we were talking about this in the members only stream. I said I would not buy this as of now. I love Pump Fund. I use it. You guys can see right here. I'm consistently, if you're looking for me, come find me in the trenches because that's where I'm usually at. But as far as buying in on their actual project right now, yesterday it was at a $1.7 billion market cap. I was like, I'm not buying that. Thing is inflated like crazy. So anytime you see these projects drop, you're going to see that. You're going to see it maybe, you're going to see a lot of sell pressure for right now, but eventually it will stable out somewhere. So it looks good across the board as far as that. One other thing that we didn't cover that I just want to point out real quick is fear and greed, right? You guys can see we are in greed as of now. So we are going to keep an eye on this, right? You guys know how I am. I keep a close eye on this, and the reason is because as we get into extreme greed, even if it's before November, it's still a indication that we could see somewhat of a local top, right, for the market. Doesn't mean that that's it, but if we fly up and we start getting into like extreme greed and high into extreme greed, that usually I would say 90% of the time lets us know that we're at some kind of a top, whether it be the local or the actual top in the market. So we're going to keep an eye out on that right now. Other than maybe me picking up Mask, that little meme coin. Other than that, I'm pretty much coasting, waiting to see where we're headed, and could potentially be taking profits depending on where we get as far as extreme greed, if that's in the next few weeks or maybe in the next month or two. We'll see. A lot of times we could hang around this area for right now. We don't need to go flying into extreme greed for right now, and the markets can continue to move up. So just want to keep an eye out on that as well. So Bitcoin right now hovering around a little under 118. We'll see what today brings. If the news of the 401k stuff really gets circulating and they do sign that 401k, expect some kind of a big bounce in the market. So with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. Enjoy yourselves if you're not working. Enjoy that day off or whatever the case is. If you are grinding, keep grinding, get that money. And I will be back here. We'll be back this weekend for our normal streams. And also, we will be doing some member streams as well this weekend with the trenches and, our normal member streams. Got to, stay ahead of the curve. Make sure we're planning for this exit liquidity that's going to be flowing in at some point in the next few months. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't already, please, please, please hit the like. If you're new, hit that subscribe. If you're thinking about joining to be a member, just hit the damn join button. It's under $5. And we're going to get that money back, right? Not guaranteed. I have to say that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see each and every one of you guys either later or I'll see you guys this weekend. All right?